against the 30th. Like, it's not like they lost to Colorado or Carolina or Florida. They lost to, I know, offense, Senators. I know they're 7-3-1 in their last 10 games, but they're still in 30th place. And they looked like they didn't have a pulse in the first 40 minutes. It was a pretty easy game for Stuart Skinner. And then, you'd like a save on one of those goals, at least from your goaltender. But,
and Skinner wasn't great, but that
no,
wasn't really the
no.
issue for me on Saturday night.
No, bad reads in the neutral zone. The Oilers did what they've done for the last 6 weeks. They gift goals and glorious chances to the opposition. And then their penalty kill, they take a penalty early, they give up a goal. They take a penalty late, they give up a goal. Like, there is every element of this team right now. And this is why, Frank, when I was asked early in December about, Dave Tippett in Edmonton, I said, well, talk to me in January. And if they're still in a funk, well, then you have to seriously consider it. And well, here they are. They're in a funk. And this is the way I look at this situation. I'm not a big believer in, it's easy to yell, fire the coach, right? It's an easy thing to do, and I get why fans do it. They're frustrated, right? But firing the coach, you have to look at all the layers. Okay, so if you fire him, who are you going to bring in? There's talk of, promote Glenn Galton. Well, first of all, you couldn't even do that right now because Glenn Galton's actually still in quarantine, isolation. So he's not even out yet. So that's number one. Number two, you could promote Jay Woodcroft from Bakersfield. But if you're gonna do that, then you should bring Dave Manson with him. And he'll run the defense. I don't think you would just fire the head coach if that's what you're doing. Because to promote Woodcroft,
if Dave Tippett is going, I think Jim Playfair is going with him.
Yeah, and
I think that's actually been one of the big stories for the season. Has been the sort of lack of trust or lack of development that's come on the back end for the Oilers. It feels like anytime there's a mistake made, the young guys are paying the price. And more to the point, there's been some odd pairings. Like Keith and Cece is very strange to me.
Well, they played really well early on. They were, and they had all the defensive zone starts. See, I don't know if I would say the young guys are getting the brunt of it. Evan Bouchard has played a ton of minutes for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, him and Barry have swapped, right, from the first and third pair every now and then, but Evan Bouchard's minutes, I don't know, the last few games maybe, sure, but it ebbs and flows. Some games he'll play less. He also had just come out of COVID. He had 1 day of skating, so I don't know if maybe, that was a part in it. But Evan Bouchard's overall minutes to me aren't much of an issue. When Markus Niemelainen got recalled, he actually played quite a bit. Like, he was playing 15 minutes a night in your third pair, and it was actually quite solid. At least he added dimension. My problem with the Oilers is on the back end, I don't know what their dimension is. Like, what are they? And they've suddenly, Edmonton, like, in front of the net. And so part of it, like, you got to box guys out, number one. Right? Then you got to have the awareness and spatial awareness to take the guy, because the Edmonton Oilers, and all the numbers at Sport Logic back it up, the Edmonton Oilers are one of the worst teams in the NHL in front of their net at defending.
I mean, honestly, I'm at a loss for words because there's, like, I was just thinking, in front of the net defending, and then we can talk about the goaltending. And, like, actually what I've been replaying to myself most of the day has been, how is it that in a summer where there were so many goalies available, like so many top end goalies available that have ended up being difference makers, how did they not do any better than what they ended up starting the season with?
Yeah, that's fair. Like, Mike Smith's injuries have definitely been a major factor. Now, some would say, hey, it was 39-year-old, you'd expect that. Well, I don't know. We can go across the sport.
I don't think that's ever fair.
No, I don't think so either, because there's lots of guys older now who play long. But the injury to Mike Smith has definitely hurt them.
It has definitely hurt them. I think the issue is, and I can understand the logic of going with Koskinen for one more year just to get through it so you don't have dead cap money for 2 years. I can get that. But the issue is that Koskinen was just pressed into service again in a role that he shouldn't be in because Smith faltered. And it's almost like the way that they arrived at Smith is really what was so problematic. Like, going back to the summer, we all heard the rumors about, I guess it would be 2 summers ago, about Jacob Markstrom. And then after that, last summer, it would have been Kemper, that I think there was some conversation there. I think that they had at least inquired. I don't know if Pittsburgh was open to the idea. I think they had at least inquired about Tristan Jarry. Like, there have been so many guys that they've talked to that didn't end up working out. And then they finally come back to Smith. And then it's the second year of Smith that's going to end up killing you.